everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token channel. It is, guess what? It is the 24th of December here in good old New Zealand at the bottom of the world. And of course, it is Christmas Eve day. Christmas Eve day. So, wow, it comes so fast, doesn't it, these things? And yeah, just the way it is, isn't it? Just the way it is. Hey, welcome to everybody, of course, around the world. Hope you got the Christmas cheer on. It's definitely a lot of fun at this time. And of course, busy too, but a lot of fun as well. Special time to spend with your family and friends. And of course, if you're a Christian, to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ tomorrow. That's what we do. And of course, the incarnate of God into man and the savior of the world. So we're looking forward to that as Christians tomorrow. So it's going to be a lot of cool fun. We're going to get into the house there with Sandy Beach. Good to see Sandy Beach as well, with the old Sandy Beach and a Christmas tree as well. Very, very cool. We got Brendan in the house as well. Howdy, Superman. ASIC doing well. Yeah, we're going to talk about Pulse Bitcoin and the ASIC token and everything else. It's going to be very, very cool. Well, it sounds like we've got a cat. Did you hear that cat? Oh, boy, that cat's screaming. Hopefully it will quiet down a bit later. I can hear it. So, it's funny. Cats are really funny. Hello, Hex Token, everybody else. Sandy Beach in the house. Good to see you. Crypto Cav as well. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And Christmas Eve down under, says Brennan. Yeah, definitely Christmas Eve down under. It's got here so fast. It's crazy stuff. We got Sandy Beach as well. A Merry Christmas Eve, Hex Token. Hey, thanks, Sandy Beach. Appreciate that. And Tony Starr is in the house. Good to see you as well, Tony Starr. Meow. Yeah, could you hear it? Could you let me know in the chat if you could hear the cat? It was like, it's like whining with that big loud whine. That's hilarious. I thought I'm going to open up the slider door and see, get a bit of fresh air coming because summer outside, it's really hot. And I thought I'll let it go. And it was really quiet. There's no noise whatsoever. I start the live stream and then this random cat starts howling to the side there. So just hilarious. So it's just the way it goes. It was so quiet outside. But oh yeah, I'll open up the slider. It'll be fine. And of course, then suddenly something random like that happens. How often does it happen? It's like crazy, isn't it? Murphy's Law, isn't it? Murphy's Law. I think that's the way it goes. Yes, Sandy. We got Butch in the house. Yo, Superman. Merry Christmas, brother. Hey, thanks, Butch. Merry Christmas to you as well. And Brennan in the house there, laughing his head off about that. The whining cat, that's for sure. I can't see you, says Crypto Cav. Really? I can see myself. I can see myself in the camera. I'm not sure what's happening there, Crypto Cav. Maybe refresh your browser or something like that. Might help. Hey, look, folks, we're going to get into the stock market. Of course, as usual, we've got our usual format. We're going to jump into the stock market. Obviously, the Friday, the last day of the week in the United States. We're a day ahead, of course, in New Zealand. What time is it in the United States still? It is currently 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday. 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday. New York is 6:30 in the evening, so around dinner time there in New York. And of course, that's Sandy Beach is on that side of the coast, I believe. What Tokyo? Let's talk about Tokyo. We're 8:30 in the evening in Tokyo. Is that in the morning? I think it's in the morning. It's in the morning today. So they're on Saturday already in the morning. And of course, London is still on Friday. London's still on Friday. Only just though at 11:35 in the evening. They're in London. So at the top of the world, just the way it goes. Monkey Face is not quite Christmas Eve in the UK yet. Merry Christmas, Superman. Yeah, I know. 11:30 over there. 6:35 p.m. in Eastern, says Sandy Beach. Crypto Cav's all good. My phone sucks, says Crypto Cav. Hey, hopefully, hey, Crypto Cav, maybe someone in Christmas will give you, maybe you'll get a present of a phone. I don't know, fingers crossed on that. Fingers crossed on that one. Butch says 9:40 a.m. in Brisbane time. Yes, good old Aussie. Aussie. Oi, as I always say. Good to see you, Butch. And of course, let's get into it, folks. We've got the stock market new. Now, the last couple of days have been putting a time stamp on the videos. So hopefully that's how people, some people just like short videos, but some people love the live streams as well. But I'll try and leave the timestamps here so people can just go to the segment that they're interested in. We've got quite a bit of stuff to talk about today. I'm sure you'll agree by the time we finish. Hold on to your hats for that. Now, I have got called the video Hex Christmas Eve Sale, and that's because Hex is on sale at the moment for Christmas Eve. So that seemed like a good title. And we have got a poll for that as well. Christmas Eve sale. And of course, we've got, will you participate in the Hex Christmas Eve sale that's on now? Exclusive there. You can buy Hex within the next 24 hours. Are you going to do that? Will you buy Hex within the next week or two? Maybe you'll buy. So you're not definitely deciding you're going to buy, but maybe you're going to buy. You're looking at the time at the bottom. If you think that the bottom's in, you might try and time that. or you're just not buying at the moment. You're quite happy with your bags, or you just don't know where the price is going to go at the stage. So in any case, will you participate in the Hex Christmas Eve sale that's on today? So we're going to talk about Hex price later on. Stay tuned for that. And it's a bit of fun, really. And the other thing, of course, we're going to talk about Pulsechain and the highest of stakes. That's coming up. People with the market at the moment with the Hex positions, they've got to take into account the fact that Pulsechain and, of course, the highest of stakes is coming up at some stage too in the new year. So those are all some of the bullish things that are happening in the future. Let's have a look at the moment. I always like to say about prices is that it's all based on a kind of a marginal price. The last buyer, the last seller really determines the price in the market. So it's kind of interesting for the tokenomics and the economics there. Stock market today. Let's get into it. Dow ends higher there in a choppy week. Isn't that good to finish the Friday before Christmas Eve on a high? It's really good. We've had the last 2 weeks for the most part, bar a day and a half, maybe a day or two, was pretty red. So it's nice to have a green day to finish off the week, and especially before Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and things like that. Boxing Day, of course, all that good stuff. So stock market today the Dow ends higher, and choppy week is earnings, and of course the Fed worries sway. So let's get into the results. We've got the Dow Jones Industrials is up 0.5% to 176 points to 33,203. We've got the S&P 500 up 0.6%, 22 points up to 3,844. The NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it is up 0.2%, 22 points to 10,497. So those are the stock market results in the United States for Friday. The volatile index went down 5%, and the US dollar pretty stable, down slightly, but mostly the same at 104.04 against its trading partners. Let's go to the commodities and have a look at the oil prices. Up dramatically. Look at that, pretty much 4.4% on the Brent oil, $3.56 increase. That's a big increase, up to $84.54. And we've got the West Texas up 2.4%, $1.86 up to $79.35. So definitely up a lot. And if we have a look at the last month on the Brent oil there, which went up $3.56, you can see that we're almost back to where we started the month a month ago. Isn't that crazy? We did get down nice and low in the middle of December, 13th of December, which is not too, almost the middle, $75. So from $75 to $85, it's almost, was it $9 or something? And almost back to where we started the month. So some crazy stuff there. All right, so that is pretty much that on the oil prices. Gold and silver. Gold is up, are you kidding me? Up $10.70, 0.6% to $1,806. I've seen some gloomy price predictions for gold from some commentators out there. Silver, of course, is up 1.2%, up 30 cents to $23.92. And I've seen still some more hawkish people in the silver. So we'll see how that plays out next year. That really is a game for next year. The commentary, the Dow Jones closed high on Friday, ending a turbulent week of wild swings as mixed quarterly earnings and the Fed's aggressive rate hike path continued to dominate investor attention. They forgot to mention recession. Remember, they were talking about recession. That was their main theme. They were talking about recession all the time. What the heck? Come on, writers, you're the ones who wrote this. Anyway, so energy rose more than 2%, underpinned by rising oil prices after Russia hinted at cutting oil prices to offset the price cap imposed by the European Union and G7 nations. So what was that? I think the price cap was at $68, something like that. $68, something like that. Anyway, we all know that the Russians are on secondary markets trading out through routes through China and India and other places probably. So just the way it goes. Maybe not India, but definitely whoever will buy it. So probably Iran and places, I don't know. Not Iran, but other places, other buyers, markets, particularly China. Energy rose more than 2%. Underpinned by rising oil prices by Russia, hinted at cutting oil prices to offset the price cap imposed by the European Union and, of course, the G7 nations there. Hex Corporation, Halliburton Company, and APA Corporation were among the biggest gainers, with the latter up nearly 6% on the day. And big tech, Alphabet, of course, was the biggest gainer, up nearly 2% after Citi said YouTube's deal to exclusively stream the National Football League's Sunday ticket could boost subscriber growth. Probably will. I'm not sure if there's many people watching that these days. I don't think we have a game called rugby in New Zealand and Australia, Pacific Islands. It's called rugby, and we don't have a lot of pads. So no one's wearing pads and they pretty much smash each other up. But I don't know if there's many people watching that these days. Be interesting. I don't think so. I used to watch it maybe 15 years ago. I've stopped watching it. It's our national game. I don't watch it anymore. So I'm not sure whether that's just me or whether generally people are not watching it as much. So I think that's the case, though. The deal deepens YouTube's overall content strategy in a key live sports vertical. City said, of course, Meta, meanwhile, rose nearly 1%, reaching an 825 million settlement with users of its Facebook platform, following a privacy lawsuit that claimed social media shared user data with Cambridge Analytica. And of course, it did. Not claiming, it did. It's not claiming. The evidence was right in people's faces. That's what it did do. We should all be getting money. We should all be getting money from Meta. We should all be getting paid. It's crazy, isn't it? These guys get away with blue murder these days. Unbelievable. Economic data shows that inline inflation also claims investor jitters about a rate trigger happy Fed. And of course, the core personal consumption expenditure, the PCE price index. Remember, we've got these two key measures. We've got the CPI, the consumer price index, and the PCE, the personal consumption expenditures. The first one is a basket of goods that people measure the prices against. The personal consumption expenditures based on the GDP measure, a much broader measure, and it's the measure that the Federal Reserve really is focused on in terms of getting down to this so-called 2%, which is really, like I said to you the other day, is actually a number that came out of New Zealand's money management. So that's how the rest of the world got. Can you believe it? Little country like New Zealand, and they started using the 2% there. Now, that's not what the law is that they're supposed to be doing, but they've just added that on, right, as a reasonable target. The personal consumption price index, which excludes food and energy and is the Fed's preferred inflation measure, rose 0.2% in November, in line with estimates. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, so stay tuned. Signs of easing price pressures are a welcome step in the right direction, and this is positive, right? So we've been talking about this, that coming up in February, remember, is our next rate hike. We could get 25 to 50 basis points there. Most people are calling 25 basis points. But of course, this is going to play to that lower end now, right? They're getting this PCE coming in down. Lower is really good. Obviously, the other big thing is that the Fed's looking at non-service sector employment and wage inflation. That's the one that's been stubborn. Remember that goods inflation's been coming down. Property services sector has been coming down, but non-property service sector has been stubborn, and that's the one I've been watching as well. So we've got at least one of the two of those coming down. It's kind of cool. They added that the painfully slow pace of retreat continues to underscore the fact that there will be more work. And this is the issue, right? We'll probably have this longer, these high rates up longer, but maybe they won't get past that 5 to 5.25% mark. So let's hope for that. And consumer stocks, Karl Marx, they clawed back some of its losses from a day earlier following quarterly results that fell short of estimates. Meanwhile, the big Tesla, Elon Musk, however, struggled to hold on to pre-market gains, even as Elon Musk said he wouldn't sell Tesla stock for 18 to 24 months. I remember I mentioned that yesterday from a Twitter space. Fears are growing that the EV maker is facing a challenging period, particularly on the demand after slashing prices for the top EVs. Remember, it slashed the prices by taking into the interest rate discounts on the cars. Based on higher inventory levels, recent price cuts, and overall production slowdowns in China, it is becoming clearer based on our work that Tesla will likely miss reduced street estimates for Q4, I guess they're trying to say there, with a softer trajectory for 2023. And of course, on the political front, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a $1.7 trillion bill to fund government operations on Friday by a vote of 255 to 201. Paving the way for President Joe Biden to sign into law. Now, if you've seen that 1.7, it's got something like 4,000 pages, and it's full of crap. They've put so much. If you're a taxpayer in the US, it is wasting your money on a lot of rubbish. Anyway, just nothing new, right? Nothing new. But this is particularly, they just keep putting together these terrible things. They're paying their friends, of course. If you look at some of the items in there, they're paying their friends. That's just the way it goes. All right, so cool. Let's jump over to the indicator for PCE. We're going to deep dive into that. The core PCE rate, which is the federal funds preferred gauge of inflation, fell to a 4-month low of 4.7% in November. Woo-hoo! Is that cool? And that's heading in the right direction, folks, from 5% in the prior month, in line with market forecasts. So this is really good for us in the crypto and stock market. because we want this to ease off. And of course, it's good to see that coming down. Here is the different rates by month, the annual rates by month. You can see that we're at 5%. Remember last month, down just below 4.7. Nice. So we want this to continue, though, right? We need this to continue. We need December's month's numbers to come out in January to be good. We need January month's inflation to be good, and that's going to prove very well for us. So very, very cool. Remember, core PCE, personal consumption expenditure, excludes the energy and prices, though, so just take that into account. But that's kind of just another good thing heading in the right direction for us, and we're going to continue to watch this so that hopefully we maybe just get that 25 basis points in February, and then the market might do some, might stay a bit more bubbly than otherwise would. So let's look forward to that. So that's pretty much the stock market. Let's get into crypto, though. Before we do that, let's catch up in the chat, see if anyone else has arrived. Let's see who else is here. Exclusive sale. Yeah, I think someone's already taken my sense of humor already. We got, let's jump through that. I got up to that for sure. We got Wookie in the house. Wookie's likes cats. Meow, says Wookie. Yeah, that was so funny. I was so quiet, and I thought, oh, yeah, I'll open up the slider, and then I'll let some of the fresh, beautiful summer air come in. And then, of course, then it was so quiet outside, and then this cat, just as I go live stream, it starts to meow, like really, really loud, like whine or whatever. Howl. I guess howl is the right word. Let's have a look here. We got Brennan in the house, exclusive sale. Yeah, the Hex Christmas Eve sale is exclusive sale to all Hexkins out there. What else there? Crypto Cav says, do you think Pulsechain will wait for Shanghai upgrade? If so, puts us at May launch. It definitely could do that. They may wait for the Shanghai upgrade, but then you've got to ask yourself this question: when is the? I'm not a blockchain developer, right? And there's actually there's not so many of those around amongst the developers. I mean, there's more than there used to be, but there's still pretty sought after. But the thing is that when we got announced by Richard Hart that the ETH proof of stake was going to be forked rather than the old proof of work one, that was on the idea that we'd also get the upgrades that came with the ETH proof of stake one, and of course, presumably the Pulsechain dev team would have to run those upgrades, right? Once we had forked the ETH proof of stake chain, so presumably if they can do that, then presumably if the code should be accessible, right, to upgrade. So that was the question I had. I don't know what accessibility they have to that. Presumably it's all on chain, it's all public, like most of the code, and they should be able to run the upgrades themselves. But hey, will they wait for the Shanghai upgrade? I don't know. I just don't know. All we know is that it's on the table for what did I say, March, I think it was. So we'll talk more about that when Hex comes up there. But yeah, that's for what. So what we're talking about there is the ETH withdrawals. At the moment, people have staked the ETH in the proof of stake, and they can't withdraw it yet. So it's pretty fundamental to finishing off the first phase of the chain. It's one thing having proof of stake, but not being able to have ETH withdrawals. The same would be on Pulsechain, not being able to Pulsechain withdrawals. And this is before they move on to the next phase of development with the sharding and the roll-ups to increase the transaction per second speed, which is really the big deal. And that's the one thing that would most likely lower costs over time. What's that? That means, in other words, the chain can grow, and with congestion won't occur like it did in the last bull market. It's kind of the idea around that. So yeah, don't know, Crypto Cav. I'm guessing that they would have the ability to upgrade, and so maybe it's not necessary. We could get it potentially before that period, but like I say, we'll address that a bit more when we get up to the Hex chart. But good question. Waiting to buy Hex till March, April. Yeah, I think there might be quite a few people in your camp that may do that. So yeah, not surprised. Lives Benny says, hello, how are you today? Now, the one thing I would say to that about Crypto Cav is that if the Pulsechain testnet v3 comes out, that can come out earlier than it doesn't have to come out at that time. It can come out just as it is at the moment. They can just get that running on the network. So yeah, that might be bullish for the Hex price. We were expecting that within a couple of weeks based on KDP's source information via Power City and the teams there, talking to the Pulsechain dev team. So if that still plays out over Christmas period into the new year, then that could be seen as pretty bullish by the community. But like I said, nothing's certain, although I do think that's a very bullish sign. Obviously, having a proof of stake fork running as a testnet, that seems pretty good to me. Hello all. Hex PLS and PLS for the win. Says lies beneath. Yep, definitely. That is the ultimate strat in this channel. We're waiting patiently, as we say, as I talk into the mic. Pulse Betas in house, ASIC and Pulse Bitcoin is pumping. Yeah, we're going to get to that, man. This had a great night overnight. It's been very, very cool. Cool. We'll get on to that. What else there? American football has more concussions due to smashing helmets together. Well, maybe that's true there, Pulse Beta. Maybe that's true. The pads are for the what? I'm not even sure it's for the cats. Pads are for the cats. Whoops. Family channel, says Brennan. I'm not even sure what that means. Not even sure what that means, Brennan. I think you're taking us somewhere. I'm not even sure where it is. CryptoCat says thoughts on Genesis and DCG path, recovery of liquidity and assets. Doesn't look like they're going to go into BK anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure where they're at. Actually, I was following it pretty closely, but I'm not sure where Genesis and Gemini are at this stage on that one. I haven't looked in the last couple of days. Spending bill is a joke. Less than 48 hours to go through 4,500 pages. Pissing away our tax dollars. I know. It's ridiculous what they get away with. It's insanity. These guys are just they're swamp creatures, just wasting Americans' money. Honestly, they're wasting Americans' money. It is unbelievable. Please don't brag about your weather. Where I am right now, it's -3 Fahrenheit in the snowstorm. No way, Sandy Beach. Well, we wish you well and get that. I hope you got a fireplace or something to keep yourself warm. Yeah, hey, look, it's very summery outside. It's nice to have it. We had a very wet season leading into summer, though, but finally we're getting some days that are worthy of a summer. Yeah, got the snowstorms there. Pulsechain says ETH never releases things on time, so I doubt RH would wait 6 months to a year for more. Yeah, that's the other side of it too. And Pulsechain that's a really good observation. Is that if the timing doesn't get upgraded, I think that they might make this particular upgrade for the Shanghai. But I agree with your sentiment there. They have been late many times. ETH will see a big drop when Shanghai upgrade comes out. 12% of ETH is getting unlocked. Look at the ETH price. That's true too. That's the other ramification for the ETH chain. But we're more worried about getting the upgrades for Pulsechain. I'm personally waiting to time the bottom because I think Hex and all crypto still has room to drop. Yeah, too fine. We're waiting for the final hammer to drop, and Hex has been correlated. Probably even more so. So more than correlated at the moment. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. All right, so cool. We got our BTC at the moment, 16,812, just down a tad. ETH there is up just slightly at 12.21. It's been holding up around that time, this price level on the sort of the upside of it. We got BNB is at 246. They're all pretty much even or slightly up or slightly down. And of course, we got who else is here? Any standouts? No real standouts. Mana is standing out. So Mana, that's a metaverse, right? Mana, that's up 7%, 33 cents. What else? Their stable coins are stable. Just having a look at some of these. Uni's down a little bit there, just a tad. How much is Uni at? Down 1.5%, not much to see. I don't know what is a big movement in crypto. Maybe 3%. 3% is a kind of a beginning of a movement in the crypto. Otherwise, it moves around a lot. So, a bit of a mixed bag across the board here. But we're pretty much holding up. We have not seen the big hammer has not yet fallen. And we've had quite I guess, generally more positive news than bad news, I think. Although the last 2 weeks was they tried to pivot us into because the bond markets were going up. They then wanted to pivot into the inversion and of course recession, right, for next year. So that's what they used to smash the market last 2 weeks is the old recession narrative. So we'll see how we get into between the Christmas and the New Year's time frame here. All right, let's have a look at El Capo of Crypto. And of course, we've been going back to him to see his opinion on things. Now, he hasn't got the timing right, but he's still saying the probability of the event of the final hammer falling is still upon us. And so let's see what he got to say about this. The inability to break 17,000 says it all, he says. So we're obviously talking about Bitcoin. They're not breaking 17. And of course, he's just saying it's a matter of time. BTC, every bounce is smaller. Lower lows and lower highs support becoming resistance. 12K is like a magnet. So that is his view with his magnet there down to 12K, remember. And of course, Richard Hart is 11K in prey, or technically was around about 10,350. We also saw Holloway as well. It's been out and around on every YouTube channel out there. And he's been talking about in the 9,000s, right? In the 9,000s of BTC. So we'll see. There are all these people calling it. We're not quite there yet, but definitely we've got these lower highs and lower lows, right? So definitely looks like we may get there. Now, what catalyst is going to get there, though? We need something, some bad news. I don't know. I don't know if Genesis Gemini is going to do it, if that's some of it, but you just never know. I wish you a Merry Christmas to you all, says El Capo of Crypto. I think that was pretty much it on there, was it? No, 4 hours ago. Just read the comments here and you will get a second confirmation. First one is the analysis that indicators that most people are trapped above 17K or higher and couldn't take another drop. Like I said before, most people are not prepared for what is coming, and it shows. So he's expecting, remember, a pretty massive decrease in the altcoins as well, and particularly the crap coins. So hold on to your hat if it plays out this way. Always with a plan, never with a doubt, he says, and I think that's pretty much it for him. So that is El Capo of Crypto, and this is where we are at the moment. We have not had the hammer fall quite yet, but certainly showing a lot of resistance, lower highs, lower lows. We'll see how we get on. In the meantime, let's get over to Hex. And of course, we're going to pull in the Hex Christmas Eve sale is on. Hex Christmas Eve sale is on. Let's have a look at the last 24 hours. This is the biggest trading pair for Hex. The liquidity in the pool is down to 5.8 million. And of course, we've got the market cap based on here on Dextools is 13.1 billion for the old Hex. 24-hour analysis on the main trading pair. Remember, there's 4 key trading pairs, 2 USDC ones, V2, V3, and of course Ethereum as well. We've got 106 sells, but we've got 347 buys on this top pair. So what's that, about 3.5 to 1? But however, the volume of the sellers, all these big large holders or OGs, probably, I don't know, you decide who it is, but it's got $1.1 million versus 838,000. Remember, this is over a 24-hour period as well, so you got to take into account timing. But that is the play there at the moment. All right, so that is pretty much it. 1.9 million volume for the top pair. That's pretty much it. We have had, I've seen quite a few. Like I'm just going through the leaderboard here. We've got some of these sales that are on here. I'm just going through the top here. You know, we've got 2.8 million sold there. Let's see what else there. 2.8 million. If we scroll down here, we've got 3 million there sold. So we're getting some people that are trading, you know, the multi-millions in Hex. 4.6 million Hex there sold. There's 100K there worth. So you're getting a bit of those in there. So that is in the play. Let's have a quick look at, I'm going to get rid of everything else here. Get just into the chart. Did I bring the Whalebot up today? I'm not sure if I brought the Whalebot up. We'll have to pull up the Whalebot and add that to our commentary as well. So we've had the low, this is on the 4-hourly chart. So let me go to the daily chart. Let's do that. The daily chart here, the low for the day for Hex is 2.219 cents, 2.219 cents. The current price is at 2.251, so just above that level. And of course, the high of the day has been a 2.4 there. So what's that? 2/10 of a penny difference there. That's kind of where we are. We're still in this zone where we might reasonably expect Pulsechain testing at V3. So if people sell out, that might take people off guard. I do see that as a pumpermental. How big of a pumpermental market will have to decide. But of course, if that would be a fork of the proof of stake without the Shanghai, which is coming up in the future, it's kind of play there. Now, we have had quite a bit of time here since the ETH proof of stake. Remember, we've been, 99 days since the ETH proof of stake fork had occurred. And, of course, we've been quite a bit of time there. How many days since Richard Hart said he was going to fork that? Well, it's been 75 days. So plenty of time to get us some sort of testing up and running. You know, what they got to put in the 0.25% fee and maybe change the S-load function. Who knows what else they might do in there. But that's kind of it that we might reasonably expect. And, of course, that was a substantiated rumor from, in other words, it had a source from, wasn't just said, and that was from KDP from Power City there. And, of course, apparently they'd also found a bug in it that the Pulsechain and the Ethereum team were both working on about 6 weeks ago. So we'll see how that plays out here. That'd be certainly pretty good. Might decorrelate us from the rest of the market. If the market perceives that as being really good, then people are going to put US dollars and ETH in the pool and take out Hex, and the market price goes the other way. So that's how simple it is as we go. All right, so cool. That is pretty much it on the daily there. Let's have a look at the things coming up still. Obviously, we talked about the Shanghai there earlier. March 2023 is the expected time frame. I don't have an exact day on that, but that's EIP 4895. And of course, that's going to allow ETH withdrawals. And that's when it's been scheduled for March. So there we are. I presume that, like I say, if we're just going to do the fork ETH proof of stake without being a blockchain specialist, I would have thought that that's something that if the code is probably accessible, then you'd be able to upgrade it on your own chain if you had an EVM change. So that's what I presume. But hey, could be wrong about that. So I don't want to be too definitive on that one. All right, so cool. But if you're going to have a fork and then you want to take the upgrades, you've got to be able to get access to the upgrade code, right? So presumably that's all public on the blockchain. All right, so cool. That is pretty much it. I think what else was going to say about that? Yeah, that's about it. We've got the Uniswap V3 license also coming up there on the 1st of April. So that's, from my point of view, more optional and could come into PulseX, after that. So yeah, we're still feeling reasonably optimistic somewhere up into this April-May period that we could see Pulsechain mainnet launch, as long as we get this testnet up and running earlier in this period here, just after, during Christmas or just after Christmas sometime, maybe in January, and we will see. No one knows the exact date, so we're just sort of giving a range, which is always quite good to do. All right, so let's have a look at the Hex Whalebot. Have a look in here and scroll down where we're up to today. So not too much from the looks of it. 23 hours ago, we had 500,000 Hex in staked. Got some nice penalties in that. 25 million, or 9 hours ago, 25 million Hex staked for 180 days. So one of these short-term stakers. So not a lot of activity on the big whales. So at least stuff that didn't make it to the Whalebot. But the Hex price definitely took a dive down today here as well. Now we have been, let's just pull this Hex chart up again. Let me just recall that. Let's pull that up. I don't know what I'm doing with the chart there. Let's do that. Yeah, that's what I want to get. We got we've had a couple of times that we've been down this high, right? But this time we've got the actual whole trend down as well. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. But definitely a Christmas Eve sale on at the moment. Where will the bottom be? We don't know. We're gonna have to find out. Some people are calling 007. With this triangle, they draw a big triangle here, and then they say it's going to break down. So some people are calling 0.007. We will see what the market decides here. Obviously, if the hammer falls without any news around Pulsechain testnet V3, we may very well go down with it. But of course, if Pulsechain testnet V3 comes out, maybe that will pump us back up and give us some cushion if the market does decide at some time in the future. We don't know. We thought it might happen in November. It didn't happen. So I don't know what happened in January, February. Some of the, like I say, the inflation's coming back down. Maybe it's going to ease pressure off the interest rates. The interest rates don't get as high. The market rallies. So these are the things that have become real wild cards. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. And definitely the big pump mental for Hex is going to be the testnet V3 coming up. Obviously, but beyond that, we've got obviously the Pulsechain mainnet. And then, of course, we've also got the highest stakes, and we're going to talk about that later on during the live stream, so stay tuned for that. That's pretty much Hex. Let's get into Hadron as well. Hadron at the moment. Let's get rid of all these charts here. I can't even believe I had all these up here at the moment. We've got Hadron there is at 12.35. Pretty much looks pretty similar to Hex, doesn't it, with the trend? And, of course, at 12.35 at the moment, so had a bit of downtrend there. And this was before we got to the HSI auctions, right? It broke down all the cup and handles and the big triangle. Broke it all down, and down we went down to 12.35. It's kind of where we're at this stage. Now, Dev Huey here, Hex, the HSI auctions, cycle 2. T-share sold to Icosa buyback has slowed down recently. Remember, cycle 2 is going to be for February, the second round, and the Icosa buybacks have slowed down recently. So we have a look at the HSI sold to the Icosa contract. We had the 14th of November here, a really huge, right? And then, of course, we've got the slowdown here as we lead into Christmas Eve here on the 23rd, leading in there. So real slowdown on that one. All right, so cool. Let's jump away. I think was that all we got from there? I think so. 7 hours, lots of new charts added to hexmodel.com, and we're still only getting started. This is from Dev Huey, who's been giving us all this great data for Hadron and Icosa. If you're enjoying this data and would like to show your support, you can also gift Hex, Hadron, Icosa, and Watsa to the address below. So if you want to throw in some some appreciation, you can send it to this address here. I might post that link in the chat there if you want to support him. Pretty much it. So that is pretty much the coverage of the. I didn't bring up ICOSA, so let's bring up the ICOSA auctions, and we have been covering that pretty deep, consistently on the channel. So there's no reason why we would miss today. And let's go to the auction house there. Let's see what HSIs are up for grabs at the moment. There are 4,685 in the liquidation queue. So that's actually been going down, right? This was over 5,000. So it's actually been going down. So I'm really happy about that, actually. And all you have to do is start the auction to bring these into the chain there. So we're down to 4,685. So they are being cleared out slowly and surely. And of course, how many we got in there? 55 are in the auction house at the moment. So 55 are up for auction. And people have been getting nice little deals, 30% deals and things like that, discounts on Hex T shares, so it's been pretty nice. We've got 287,000 there, a bid at the moment, 10 minutes, was it 10 hours to go on that one? What else have we got here? 300,000, 300,000, 415, 425, so these are around 50 T shares each. 300, 300, 300, 500, 300, there's lots of decent size T shares in the auctions today. Man, oh man, 10 hours to go though, it's quite a bit of time to go. 428, 300, oh, there's a big one here, 1.5 million, almost 1.6 million. With 195 T shares. It's currently got 1 billion Hadron on it, but it's 10.5 hours to go for bidding. Man, there's heaps in today. 300, 420, 300, 300,000, 430,000. Man, oh man, 157, 500. Man, that's lots up for grabs. So there'll be some interesting stuff. That's going to be good for burning. Those get one. It's going to be good for the burning and Hex. If you're staking Hadron, ICOSA, and you got Wattses, that's going to be a good day in the office for you. Plenty of T shares up for grabs today. Lots of burning. So that's a good day in the office for the old stakers there. And deflation as well, right? So cool on that one. That's pretty much it for there. Let's jump away from that. We're going to get into the airdrops. And of course, I did a video yesterday, separated video. Actually, I cut out my live stream and I added on the update for the Zen order. So that came out and from Certec, and that was pretty good, right? So Certec order came out. Certec report was in from Jack Levin, one missing medium issue. And of course, resolving NFTs there. And this is the one here. Pretty easy. He'll solve that. And of course, no critical major issues there. So pretty much good to go. He's looking to launch somewhere between the 27th, 29th is kind of the time frame he's looking at. So that's next week sometime. So that's been pretty well received there. The good news that Certec audit and the original Zen contract twice. So now we have a double verified to be solid. So that's kind of cool. Twice has the contract been looked at. So that's kind of Zen there. Zen currently at 3,060 and has holding up at the moment. So that is on the hourly chart. You can see it sort of peaked out here up to 4,500, 4,600. It's been zigzagging around here. There's been a few live streams on and stuff like that. It's been pretty positive. So that is ticking along. So if you want to check out the video that I did yesterday, the secrets of Zen, check it out. And of course, this is the longer term daily view of the chart, obviously with the big log function. Just lots of inflation minting out, and of course down we go. But of course with the Zen NFTs, it's going to bring into could bring in huge burning. And as I said to you, the way I look at the Zen NFT is a bit like a futures contract with an asset delivery on it, and of course people are able to trade that. Now, one of the sneak peeks is that potentially in the third phase, they may have staking for that as well and lending. So that could be really a big deal there in the third phase of development. So this project is going to continue to build on it. Remember, as we kind of see Hex, Hex is supposed to be a store of value. That's kind of the plan with Hex, whereas Zen's kind of as a medium of exchange is kind of where the Zen is looking at. So they're kind of trying to take these two different paths here between store and value. You know, like Bitcoin's kind of a store of value, They're trying to get those asset prices more fluid, but that's kind of where the separation is in my mind. And in this case, that looks like they're expanding out from just minting, which you can't really trade the future, right? You got to wait till it finishes and then you can claim it. Whereas this here is going to be tradable, right? So you can actually value in some of the future, a bit like how the perpetuals in the Hex contract, in the Maximus contracts, that you're trying to value in a bit of the future into some of those contracts. It's a bit like that, but this could be a bit more aggressive probably. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyway. So that's going to be interesting to see what this chart does over the next wee while. I think there's about 500 billion still coming out in between that time frame. You can find all that stuff on Zen Turbo and my video that I did. So that's cool. That's Zen. A bit of excitement happening in that space. Let's go to the Weight Token, of course. Weight Token also doing some exciting things. And, of course, at the moment, the price is maybe not too exciting. It's 2.2 cents. Now, you can find all the free claims in our Discord if you the links in the video description. But Zen at the moment, this is with Coast. We had big news coming out of their team, right? Big news coming out with the fiat on-ramp, off-ramp is coming soon. It's coming soon, they said. Soon, soon, soon. And, of course, this is going to be one of our on-ramp, off-ramps for Pulsechain. Yeah, boy! We're going to have everything, man. And we're going to be so sport on Pulsechain, honestly. We're going to have all the best stuff. It's going to be so cool. And we're also going to have stablecoins, too. Like I say, we could have at least a minimum of 4 native stablecoins on Pulsechain. That's what we're recently expecting. We could actually have 5. So it's going to be pretty crazy. And that doesn't include all the other stablecoins that, try to say, hey, we're not going on Pulsechain because we're too cool, in like USDC and USD Tether. Well, we say, we don't care. We don't care. We've got our own stablecoins, man. We're putting out the best ecosystem in crypto. So you take off. You take off. So anyway, we don't need them. But if they come, it makes things better. But hey, look, we don't need them. That's the key. And that's what the bad place is when you don't have this ecosystem. We're going to have it all, right? Stable coins, DeFi, everything. We have it all. It's going to be glorious. Anyway, so at the moment, this is at 2.2 cents. Looks like we'll have that fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, which means people can get USDC. They can go buy Hex with it, right? And it's going to be non-custodial. And, of course, it's going to be exciting to see that. And, of course, we're looking forward to the CST stablecoin as well. That's going to be great. So very, very cool. Starting US, of course, they've got to go through jurisdiction. So the US and then, of course, the UK regulators said all good to go. So UK is looking good. And they're just going to keep spreading far and wide around the world. So giving access to a lot more markets. So looking forward to that. Now, also, the Weight token is probably going to benefit. Weight version 2, all that sort of stuff is going to play out. And, hey, maybe there's going to be intrinsic value inside the Weight token. Maybe some of the fees get funneled into the Weight token or something like that. So that could change this price. This price might have some fireworks. We'll see what happens there too. So lots of fun stuff happening here with these free claim airdrops. You think they're just free claim airdrops, but they've actually got all these cool things happening with them, except for Poor Pleb. Maybe Poor Pleb has. I don't know. Maybe it's a secret plan for Poor Pleb. But in any case, you get about 1.4 million if you qualify for the Poor Pleb. And at the moment, that's at 2,630. You can see it's just down at the bottom here. It did launch at a particularly poor time. Had a quick couple little minor rallies, but really there's only like a couple of dollars. I don't know, maybe $2 per claim or something like that. But hey, if you've got lots of Genesis wallets, like we encourage, like Pulsechain, Pulsex, something, then maybe you got $10. I don't know, something like that. We'll see. We'll see with more coming from this team. But yeah, it's an airdrop. So there we go. If you qualify, that is. So you can find all the links to these in our Discord under the Pulsechain projects, under airdrops, free claims, free mints. Go into that. Obviously, with Zen, you don't have to you don't have to qualify anything. You can go mint it on up to 10 chains. It will cost you a bit of gas fees depending on the chain. The ETH chain has the most bonuses left. I think it's the most valuable chain. Probably after that would probably be BSC, Polygon. Polygon's fully minted, so all the earning bonuses are gone. So just take that into account. All right, so cool. That is pretty much that. Let's jump over to the Pulse Bitcoin. And, of course, this has been the fun thing over the last 24 hours, but there's been controversy. We're going to get into this in a second. Before we do that, let's get into the chat and catch up with any comments. Good thing is I didn't leave the video on today. Maybe yesterday I left the video on accidentally when I was commentating. It was funny, hilarious. Hey, we just hit 50 votes on our poll, so get in there if you haven't voted on the poll there. We'll find out what those results are later on. We've got lots more coming up, folks, so stay tuned. Lots more coming up in terms of information, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And let me get back there. Man, did I get far behind the comments? I think I did. Let's jump through this. And I got through that for sure. Pulsechain says ETH never releases things on time. I think we got up to that. ETH will see a big drop. Yes, we got up to that too. Check my pulse says Merry Christmas, everybody. Definitely Merry Christmas to everybody out there. What else there? Francis says hello. Good to see Francis as well. I love Jesus. Nice to see you. Hex Force 1. Good evening, everybody. Lots of hearts there from Francis. Always a pleasure. Wookie says it's 22 degrees here today in Wookie land. I think you're in New Zealand as well, aren't you, Wookie? At the bottom of the earth. So 26 over here, Wookie says Brennan. The beach is calling me, says Brennan. Yeah, I bet it is. Michael says, hey guys, Superman killing it every day. Well, let's smash that like. Definitely smash the like, everybody. It was 57 and raining here in Massachusetts. Temperature dropping 40 degrees tonight, brr. And you're talking about Fahrenheit, right? So we always use Celsius down here. We have to get used to doing the ratio change. Sandy needs to try a beach Christmas down under. Yeah, that's one way of getting away from that cold weather there, Sandy. I think Sandy likes the snowy Christmases, even if it's super cold. But that's probably the way it goes. Hex will most likely fill the wick that went to 2 cents, says Brennan. That's some insights there around the chart if you guys want to. Brennan's a trader in our community. Summer says, hey Summer, hey all, wrapping presents and watching on the big screen. Hope everyone is having a wonderful night. Hey, that sounds really great, Summer. Very, very cool. I hope Hex Token's on Netflix. Is it Netflix? No, I'm just kidding. I hate Netflix. It's Netflix. But I hope it's on some streaming service. How about that? Okay, Strip guys, I'm getting jealous of your nice weather. Yeah, I can understand that. It's time to come down under, Sandy. We've got beaches everywhere, man. Beaches everywhere. They're all over the place. You're going to love it. Our whole coast is all surrounded by beaches. Australia's surrounded by beaches. New Zealand's surrounded by beaches. It's a crazy time. Plus your winters are nothing, says Sandy Beach here. They're nothing, but they are a little bit miserable. The one thing you'll have to get used to, Australia's really flat generally, and there's some hills on around the coast, but New Zealand is basically, it's very hilly. I think there's 2 main plains, and then the rest of it's quite hilly, so we're just taking that into account. What else there? I'll be wearing board shorts during the winter, says Sandy Beach. Nice. Crypto Cav says, I'm great with May launch. March is the last Fed hike. April, they'll reverse course. They'll cause a drop and then start the recovery. Now, I don't see them reversing course, though. They'll hold that rate up for a period of time, probably at least 6 months. I've got the earliest reverse in Q4. I think that's far more likely. It's in terms of the phasing. I would love to launch, but hey, if you were right, if they reverse that quickly, that'd be dramatic. That'd be dramatic. I would love to see the launch at the bottom of the market. Well, it looks like things are turning out that way. As I said to you, we might be delayed in terms of the time frame. It has been a long time, but the fact is that we've had probably have a lot of the worst of the market out of the way, and then of course we're also having all the big AAA project teams building on top of Pulsechain will have had time to finish. They weren't finished, ready to finish. I mean, we've seen them all come out, Liquid Loans and Fiat and everyone else coming out, and we've got an update coming up around Power City. So these guys have had a chance to actually get these dApps and stuff finished, get their regulatory stuff done, like Coast and stuff like that for stablecoins, on-ramp, off-ramps. Overwatch, Rack and Michelle doing all his stuff. So we've had the time to build this out. So everything is lining up actually to be probably the best outcome, which is kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny like that, but that's cool. It's definitely going to be better for us, I think, when it's all said and done. Also, we got Jergens in the house. Smash the likes. Definitely smash the likes. Producer Michael's in the house. Pump it. Zcash. Time the secret, says Zcash. Mr. Max is in house. DCA weekly. Huge sale right now. Dreams are made at this price level, says the Matt. Yeah, so there we are. There's some suggestions there from Mr. Max. How do you think Hex could reach 1.5 by tomorrow? Hey, the price could do anything by this time. So Hex, it's hard to do TA on Hex because of the staking class and, of course, large holders. There's still a lot of circulating supply. It has gone down dramatically. During this bear market, we saw Maximus, Icosa, and Hadron stake, close to probably 1.8 to 2 billion Hex staked out, which was fantabulous. But there's still a lot of circulating supply out there. So that's still got to play out over time. So yeah, but making Hex could, we're still waiting to find the price mark. I don't want to really say where I think it could go. I have mentioned that people have got price charts down to 0.007. But hey, look, it may not get down to there. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, if we get Pulsechain testnet V3 out and the price pumps up, then we've got more cushion in case the market does decide to do the hammer. And of course, maybe the bottom is around where we are, 2.2 cents or something. We don't know. We'll see how that plays out. Nothing is inevitable. Boop Boop says, Sandy, good to see you. Sandy, a big pump on ASIC this morning. Yeah, well, we've got those charts up. So let's talk about those because that's a good lead into where we are. We've got Pulse Bitcoin, man. This is rallied. Look at this, $2.20 and it did get down really low. And of course, the pressure was on. We finished the transform, and of course, the pressure was on for this community. Up 33% though in 3 days, and of course, most of that yesterday, right? So we have switched over to a new day. We were at 21 minutes into a new candle now. And so yesterday we got a nice big pump up, 24%. That's on Pulse Bitcoin. So people are mining using asset tokens to mine Pulse Bitcoin, and they got a nice little 24% pump there. Now Wolverine was giving out the word, not just to the Pulse Bitcoin community. He was having them on. He was saying, hey, look, if you guys are going to sell, the whales may not want to buy anything more, give confidence. And this is not what it's designed for. It's a store of value. So remember I talked about, you got projects trying to take the store of value theme. You got projects trying to take the medium of exchange theme, right? So obviously Pulse Bitcoin trying to do the store of value. And of course, following Bitcoin, the whole narrative around Bitcoin as a store of value. Obviously, it's a funny store of value because the prices go up and down, but that's the idea, right? People trying to get that store of value. They're not trying to make it a stable coin, but they want people to store more and more wealth in it over time. That's kind of the idea there. But funnily enough, that's pretty much based on the marginal price, right? So it's a funny play. Obviously, people may suggest that maybe thicker liquidity over time, is one indicator of a better store of value. We'll see. Pulse Bitcoin has also rallied, so that is up to $7.99, basically $8. And of course, look at the rally yesterday. Got down to $6.88 and got rallied up 17% there to 23%. So good to see Pulse Dogecoin. Now remember, there's only around 2.6 million left. There was about 6.1 million. It's only about 2.6 million or something like that left at the moment. So this meme coin is way more scarce. The all-time high price was back here on the 14th of December at $11.13. So we'll look forward to see whether it can break that. It really wants to do that, right? So if you're a meme coin, you want to just keep that going up, especially now it's so relatively scarce. We'll see that play out. Like I said to you yesterday, I saw someone sell some Zen bags for the Pulse Dogecoin. So you're going to get people swapping asset classes. That's just the way it's going. They all make their own choices, and we'll see whether they benefit or not. The asset token, of course, I've always said I kind of thought that there's a big, strong narrative around this being the most valuable. Well, apparently the market's agreeing with me because here it is, $2.19. And of course, you mine Pulse Bitcoin with this. There's no more asset tokens except for the ATM NFTs. There's not many of those around, relatively speaking, either. And of course, you can trade those on Referral and OpenSea. I haven't checked out to see what they're worth at the moment, but the asset token definitely getting valued up after the transform phase. This was, only ATM NFTs are creating new ASIC. This asset token's also got a burn every time everyone mines. They got 0.5% burn. That will go down on the next halving at 10.5 million Pulse Bitcoin. But this is kind of where we are at the moment. So very bullish there for the asset token. In the future, you may be able to mine Pulse Litecoin as well. So it could be dual token. And who knows where the founder of Pulse Bitcoin will take this project ecosystem. We will see. So what have we got? We've got quite a few teams around creating their own ecosystems. Obviously, we've got Dipcatcher and Golkey doing the Maximus ecosystem. And that's, they've done a great job on that. And we've also got Alex McFurter doing Hadron Icosa, and he's done a great job on that. And, we've got this Pulse Bitcoin founder doing a pretty good job on this whole narrative as well. Fortunately for him, he's also got some very charismatic whales in there as well, like Wolverine and Pepe and people like that, that are really trying to push the growth and build up the narrative around this whole ecosystem. So pretty fun to see. So congratulations. Now, Wolverine was out there giving some hard words. Some people found it controversial. He was not just a Pulse Bitcoin. You're saying, hey, you guys sell all the time. Then what do you think is going to happen to the prices? What do you think you're going to get whale support? Do you think we're going to build this narrative? Look at what I've been doing, all the stuff about giving this big giveaway and all sorts of stuff. We're doing all these videos, and all you guys want to do is dump on our heads all the time. And he's basically giving them the word. He said, the only way you have a big thing is if you buy and hold. What does Richard Hart say? How do assets go up? You buy and hold. That's kind of the argument. But the thing is, you got to convince so much of the market, right? In Hex, the market is, there's what is it? Over 300,000, up to 500,000 holders, over 300,000 holders of Hex at the moment on Etherscan. And the staker class was 115, 16,000, something like that. So it's a much bigger community than Pulse Bitcoin, which is what 4,500 holders of Pulse Bitcoin. So you see what I'm saying? He's got an easier audience to reach. And of course, he's got to convince as many as possible to do that. This is where it comes into game theory, and of course, trying to do that on a community that's almost probably 80 times bigger or something like that. It's much harder to do. Now, obviously, he was giving some harsh words out there also around harsh words. Let me rephrase that. Probably putting out some critical, constructive criticism. You decide what you call it on Richard Hart's marketing. Of course, some of his approaches to that. So you can decide what you will on that one. Obviously, we try to keep out of no drama channel. We try to keep out of that. But that's pretty much it. And of course, he was also giving some words out to Hex as well, around the Hex narratives as well. So you can decide what you will of that. Now, the one thing I would agree is that if you want an asset to go up, you've got to buy and hold, and you've got to hold the asset. If the assets go down when there's more sellers than buyers, that's just it. That's it in a nutshell. That's market 101. So there we are. So that was some interesting stuff, but definitely the market's rallied, and it looks like it may have got some whale support to help it along. In any case, Wolverine has been busy the last 9 hours. This is an interesting strategy to me. You got to remember that where's all the wealth in the world? The wealth in the world is pretty much in the United States, in Europe, and in Asia. That is where most of the money is, right? Most of the money. You think in Asia, you're thinking South Korea, you're thinking Japan, you're thinking China, you're thinking Taiwan. This is where you're thinking all the big money is in Asia. And North America, the United States, particular states of California, New York, and other places like that. A lot of particular wealth in there. Europe, of course, the United Kingdom, Germany. You're thinking powerhouses like that. That's where a lot of the big money is. So that's where you're going. But here he is going into India. Obviously, not one of the economic powerhouses, but obviously a giant population. And here he's targeting the Indian community. Interesting strategy. And he's got here, India suffers from extreme poverty in some regions. 1.4 billion inhabitants could greatly benefit from Pulse Bitcoin. Solving poverty is a challenging issue. Time for another thread. So he's got a thread there. I like to see a massive campaign to onboard India into Pulse Bitcoin. So much so that I might be willing to open up my wallet yet again to see this happen. No promises, no expectations, but I will at least consider it. So this was 9 hours ago. Therefore, if you live in India, please post some videos that market Pulse Bitcoin for the world to see. Let's see what the Indian community can do on its own to spread the word. I'll contribute to the efforts if and only if I see strong work ethic on board the community. So what are we seeing? We're seeing a couple of things. They're targeting new markets, obviously large population markets, trying to get this almost like a SHIB kind of community, really large, like SHIB. So we're going to see how that plays out. The other thing, of course, is, India is quite good to get virality through India. I guess it's a bit like WeChat in China, getting a big virality through that. So it's pretty interesting to see that. The other thing is, it looks like Wolverine's trying to become a big founder as well, like almost like the rich, even though he's not the developer of the project, almost like the Richard Hart of Hex and Pulsechain. Wolverine's becoming almost the big influencer founder for Pulse Bitcoin, although he's not the founder. So some interesting. He's definitely the front man, as it were. Obviously, there's other whales around like Pepe and stuff like that, but there's some interesting strategies going on. Now, the cool thing about looking at other projects is that you can learn off them. The good things and the not so good things that they do, the experiments that work, the experiments that don't work. So some interesting stuff. But at the moment, pretty aggressive. And Wolverine's talked about something trying to get up to 100,000 followers. And I think that's a big thing that he's working on at the moment. So there we are, doing a lot of social media on and upwards with that. And he is going. So he's just been posting pretty furiously on his Twitter here as well. So that's some of the stuff that you can see how much he's tweeting. And just in 24 hours, he's tweeting all this stuff and got other people commenting, retweeting. And so lots of stuff in there about that. So definitely targeting a new market there. And we got at the top here, he's got 6,137 followers. He's targeting 100,000. He's going to keep going, I imagine, until he becomes a bigger and bigger influencer. We see Richard Hart at the moment. He's heading towards, 300,000 followers on Twitter. So you can see the game is on there. So some interesting stuff there. We've also got Jack Levin over on Zen developing his ecosystem as well. Now, he has obviously a huge following from years ago, but he's trying to build up his engaged following as well. So we see a lot of stuff happening in space. So crypto never sleeps, folks. Crypto never sleeps. So anyway, that's a bit of fun stuff happening there. And, of course, we're going to jump out of there. We're going to get into the Hex daily stats as well. Now, I'm going to leave out BNBP, but we'll probably be talking about that tomorrow because waiting for some new games to come with BNBP. We'll be talking about that then. In the meantime, let's get into some more comments on the chat. Here, we're coming up to day 1,117. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but let's get into some of the comments. We've got the new people in the chat, so I'm going to catch up with some of them. We've got producer Mike says ASIC pump, yeah, boy. And of course, got to remember that the Pulsechain ecosystem, the Pulse Dodge, was it the Pulse Dogecoin? Yeah, Pulse Dogecoin came as an airdrop to Hex stakers. So just another benefit that Hex stakers got on the 20th of April. And this is why we're covering it on this channel. It's been pretty expressive like that. So pretty cool. Brazolji says, hey, everybody, good to see you, Brazolji. Abit Hex is in the house. What's up, Hex skins? And of course, hey, Abit, I did hear you talking about your inflation projections for T-shares and stuff coming out next year. Looking forward to that with you and Patrick. So very excited about that. Stay tuned, everybody, for that when that comes up. They do that every year, and they've been pretty accurate with it. So we're going to look for that. I think it's the best modeling out there that we've seen, and so looking forward to that. Hex Hodls, I know Hex Fires out there in that sort of space. Got some of his stuff on there too. Hey, Hex Hodls in house. Hey, you all. Good to see you. Yeah, it's 2022 degrees Fahrenheit, and Hex Hodls says, man, it's getting cold there. It's getting cold. Sandy Beach says, Cabana Raid. Cabana Raid. A big shout out to Cabana. I really do enjoy his show when I get to watch it. So a big shout out to him. Merry Christmas to him and everybody else out there. Merry Christmas, everybody. 29 degrees Fahrenheit in barbecue weather, is it? Or 29 degrees Celsius in barbecue weather here in Sydney. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Sandy's going to get you for that there, Andrew. It's going to get you for get another shrimp on the barbie meat. Look, having a good time there. Hope you got some nice light beers there, Andrew, because I always like cool beers with the old barbie. No, I do not, said Sandy Beach. Let's jump over here. We're going to jump over down further here. Hexforce 1 says 68 degrees Fahrenheit in Arizona. That's a lot better than where Sandy Beach is. She said it was -3 or something like that. -5 degrees. Abit Hex says living on the beach is the best, says Abit. And Tortoise Jones says snowstorm up in Virginia. Vermont, is it? Vermont, New York? I'm just trying to guess there, Tortoise Johnny. Snowstorm. Yeah, well, you're up pretty far north, so you're probably going to have some of that really, really cold weather up there. What else there? Hex Hodl says those in the Bahamas on an island, Exuma, hilarious. Yeah, I didn't actually talk about Sam Bankman-Fried. He did a $250 million bail, but apparently it's all fake money. It's just done through his parents' property, something like that. So, yeah, people are saying if he actually had 250 million and he actually opted them up, that stuff will probably end up at the New York State place there. Just the way it goes. All right, so cool. What else did we? Refine says, woohoo! Good to see you, Refine. Pulse says, I saw on Twitter someone sold 1 million Hex and bought Pulse Bitcoin, says Pulse Beta. Yeah, hey, look, you're getting a bit of these asset swaps at the moment in this sort of volatile time. Abit says, haha, it's amazing. Yes, search it, says Abit Hex. Pulse Beta says, Wolverine rubbishing Hex and RH a bit while pumping Pulse Bitcoin. Yeah, it's all it's what do you call it? It's his own outrage marketing. It's his own outrage marketing, Pulse Beta. If you burn PLSD for ASIC, you're currently doing very well. And of course, there's unpredicted Hex. Hex Holder says Bahamas is not too expensive to travel to, and Airbnb is decent. Hex Holder says maybe when Hex is at an all-time high again. That's right. And Abit says I just used some of my ASICs to buy Pulse Dogecoin back. Says Abit. Yeah, this is what I said about that ecosystem. You got 3 coins plus you got the NFT. And you got this moving around, but at the moment they're all getting pumped. So it's gonna be interesting to see that play out. Who else there? Let's Sandy says I love asset token. What else there? Let's jump into some of this. So got Hex Hodl there. Richard Hart replied also back. Then very cool. ASIC at $2.16, up almost 30% in a day. What else there? Let's jump through some of these. Brennan says, you were right about ASIC Superman, bring the alpha. Yeah, bring the alpha. Hey, look, the only thing I haven't been right on that I can recall, like, in a material sense, has been the Hadron pump before the HSI auctions. And, of course, that was probably because there was so much minted, right? That minting was really competing with the old burn, and we've seen that play out. So that's probably it. Otherwise, we've been doing pretty well this year for sure. Getting the Hex price though, the Hex price is a challenging one too. Like I say, with the amount of we're still, we've got a lot of circulating supply down dramatically. We've still got a lot out there. We've still got and stakes coming out as well. So that's always hard to do TO on the Hex chart there. Let me jump through some of these comments. Abit says, in my opinion, putting out content for your favorite crypto is the best and most effective anybody can do to bring adoption. I agree with that. Sometimes one single impressions can change someone's life. That's true. Good words there, Abit. Wolverine wants to pump my bags. Happy days, says Unpredicted Hex. Yeah. Pulse 777 says, hey, Kiwi Superman, happy Christmas, mate. Love listening to you all year. So I hope PLS and PLSX are launched soon. New year. Why is Hex dropping so much, do you think? Like I said to you, just people moving assets, maybe a bit of buying some Christmas presents. We do, once you get a bit of a downtrend, people start to buy into that narrative and they sell out. But once again, things only go down because people are selling. So just the way it goes. We have had a lot of penalties as well. It's been a lot of real mixed things going on at the moment. The other thing is we're also getting quite low liquidity as well. So this could be the time period before we have a big rally in the price. So that narrative could play out as well with the amount of volumes being quite low. So typically you might see the volume quite low when the price is coming down like this. And then suddenly, before people know it, the price gets spiked back up. So that's the trap for people selling out during this time. They might be protecting well, but they also might be missing the opportunity when someone comes in with bigger money and pushes the price back up. So just the way it goes. Crypto 7 in the house there. Yo, Hex Token. Good to see you, Crypto 7. Another YouTuber in the space. We've got A-Bit Hex out there in the chat there. We've got the Crypto 7. Good to see you all in the house. Hey, look, they're all being consistent, getting out there, spreading the word about Hex Pulsechain. Obviously, we talk about other cryptos and other stuff as well. That's very, very exciting. So big shout out. Keep up the good work, man. That's the key thing, right? We've got a lot of YouTubers in the Hex Pulsechain space, and it's exciting to see that. We're going to talk about the Hex conference coming up soon. So stay tuned for that because that's going to be a glorious event for year 3. So there's nothing sleeping here. Pulsechain testnet, V3, Pulsechain mainnet, highest of stakes, the Hex conference. There's so much coming up, folks. Enjoy your Christmas time as well. And of course, at the moment, there's a Christmas Eve sale on at the moment. So you can pick up lots of volume. And of course, you need a copy on that on the Pulsechain. So none of those narratives have changed. And so it's good times, good times. Maybe a Christmas present under the tree is an old Hex MetaMask account or something like that. Oh, yes, we just partnered with the Crispy. This year's Power of T-Share rep presentation going to be lit, says Abit. Looking forward to it, man. I do really love that presentation. I will be covering that as well. Al says, Superman never fails to deliver us the news. Love you, man. Hey, Al, appreciate that. Appreciate that big time. We got Pulse 777 says, gee, had enough of looking at these updates and getting nothing from RH. He can't give us anything. I can't wait till he can. I kind of think he has our best interest at heart, though. Bring on 2023. Yeah, he's trying to get everything together at the right time. And so far, like I said to you, even though we have had to wait a long time, don't want to water that down because it's the truth. Things are actually playing out the right way. We might get the bottom of the market timing pretty well. It doesn't have to be perfect. We might get that pretty well. We got all the AAA projects building and almost got all their dApps up and running. We can play around with those on testnet. So really cool. We're getting all these stable coins, fiat on ramps, off ramps, coin listing sites, exchanges, everything like that. We're going to have everything, folks. It's going to be really, really cool. And of course, all the top DeFi. We don't need 4,000 projects on Ethereum that are operating. We need the top 10, 20. They're the ones that are most valuable. And we're going to probably have basically all of those or just about all of them. We've also got Trust Wallet out there, Trust Swap out there. Remember they talked about that in 2021. Jeff Kadakis in the house as well. So all those things are going to play out. It's going to be pretty glorious, I think. Bruce says, do touting laws apply to videos made for a contest that involvement investment vehicles? I do not know, Bruce. Do not know. Got my cold one out, says Brennan. I like that. Good old light beers. Hey, Acapella's in the house with the super sticker. Woohoo! Hey, rock on, man. Appreciate that. Superman says, you're a legend. I appreciate what you do. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, my brother, from another mother. Hey, nice one there, Acapella. Really appreciate that. Big shout out to you. Katie's in the house there. Hey, all. I hope everyone is having a good run up to the holidays. Merry Christmas. 777 says Sorrento in Victoria is the place to be. What else there? Fun facts is A-Bit. We will present the true inflation of Hex in 2022. Haven't calculated it yet, but last year it was circa 1%. Nice one, A-Bit. We look forward to it, man. I like the Bahamas, says Sandy Beach. Yeah, Bahamas. Someone else likes the Bahamas too. A guy called Sam. So he likes that too. Merry Christmas, Katie and everybody. Paul says, Merry Christmas, one and all. I have to work tomorrow morning, so I will miss the show. Says Possible about it. Hey, hope you have a good time at work, though. You can make work fun, that's for sure. Hex Token, will you be on the Hex conference? I'm not sure whether I'm going to be on that yet. I did get an invite for the first time. I'm just not sure whether I'll be going on there or not. So I'll let you know, Sandy Beach. Hex will destroy every asset on Earth, says Al. I believe it too. Well, this is a long play, right? So it's definitely, we're going to have some very bullish things in 2023 for Hex. So these prices that we're getting at this moment, the sale prices, may be very short-lived. So be careful out there with your choices. That's all I'm going to say. I hope RH does a Christmas stream. Yeah, it'd be cool if he did that. Now, he will be on the Hex conference, so we're going to talk about that in a second. That's going to be cool too. Avet says, I would like to see PLS come out and people panic sell. So all our lards in the last year get the best price. I'm confident we can go 10 down next faster once weekends are out. That's true. So we will get a lot of redistribution changes. There's Abex says. Crypto7 says Hex Token was most consistent, hardest working stream in 2022. Hey, Crypto7, appreciate that. Big shout out to you, man. And like I say, just keep up the great work. You're doing incredible live shows in the UK. And, you know, everybody is playing their part. Really, really cool. Wherever we are around the world, it's pretty cool. I always like the fact that I'm at the bottom of the world, Crypto7's at the top of the world, and then we've got, 130 streamers in between. That's pretty neat like that. So big shout out. Brendan says, you both were, says Brendan. Nice one there. All right, so cool. Let's get into it, folks. Day 1,117, 23rd of December. The price was 2.251 cents, down 5.8% on the day before. We've got the pay up per Hex Petitia, 6.335 Hex Petitia. Just amazing, folks. So even with the price going down at the moment, trying to find its bottom price, we're at 6.335 on the payouts. And that's what Hex is all about, getting those T-shares and getting those payments. So pretty cool. Now, remember, the share rate's only going up. So it's not waiting for anybody. Getting the T-shares is getting harder and harder over time. Now, obviously, T-shares is a wonderful mechanism because it allows people, it gives sort of that equal opportunity no matter what time you're coming into Hex to get T-shares, because it's all about your individual choice and your opportunity cost. So it's pretty cool like that. The T-share rate is up 6 today to 25,352. It is only going up and to the right, and it's going to go up at a faster pace in the future. We've got $571 is the price of a T-share. Remember, when you stake your Hex gets burned, and in return you get shares. Those are called T-shares. And of course, the more you can get more of those by the longer pays better, which is a feature of the Hex contract. And of course, you get 20% more shares per year up to 10 years, 200% more. And of course, that would mean that you get this for a third of the price if you go longer pays better. I am one in the camp of a staking ladder. I always suggest people get a staking ladder when they get to Hex. So check out hex.com in the video description. If you have any more questions, get into our Discord. We've got lots of cool people there willing to help you as well. Remember, do your investment due diligence. Nothing on this channel is investment advice, of course. But that is the play. That is what people are after, and that share rate is just going up, up, and away. So getting in earlier is a better. Now, average stake length there, 6.74 years, with the APY rate, yield, and emergency stake penalties. Now, the yield there means inflation, and the emergency in-stake penalties are people that, generally speaking, have not kept their responsibilities with their staking. We've got the rate there at 37.85%. Paid out in Hex, which is just amazing. One of the special features of the Hex contract, obviously, people being able to get high yields over a long period of time, and of course, you can't get that sustainably on other contracts, and you'll see that pretty quickly. We've seen it on C5 products, and of course, there's one of the special mechanisms here in Hex. Now, I expected this APY yield to go down over time, and I particularly expect probably the OA to do some staking, probably after Pulsechain launches sometime. I would reasonably expect that to regulate. So pretty interesting there. We have seen Richard Hart indicate that kind of talk before as well. So maybe he knows the OA and he can give him a good chat about that. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But it's kind of a reasonably expect. Liquidity in the pool, 384 million Hex. Now that's up. Let's have a look here. That's up 8 million Hex from yesterday. And of course, we've got the liquidity in the pool. That is down to 9,367,000. That's down, about $300,000 from yesterday. So that's been really the change in the pool. Remember that people buy and sell. So sellers have probably contributed to this, but we also have people adding and removing liquidity. But I suggest that probably most of this is buyers and sellers today. We've got the ETH in the pool at 1,225, just down only 4 ETH from yesterday. So there we are. We've got a bit of movement going on there with the LP providers. T-share in the house. So remember, Hex is easy to understand. We have a reward pool with inflation and penalties. We have an ownership pool with T-shares. And of course, if one of those goes up or down, then the Hex payout per T-share changes each day. But generally speaking, it's just going up and to the right. And of course, when ABIT comes out with Patrick with their inflation forecasts for the T-shares and stuff like that, you're going to see all that stuff play out with the Hex payout. That's a very, very cool presentation. So anyway, that's up 5,000. We're at 10,251,000 T-shares. It's going to be fun to see this play out over time for sure. Get on the train. Get on the train. All right, so stake percentage of coins, 9.71% of Hex is staked at the moment. We had a nice 1.4 million in Hex penalties. Good for those that are staking. We get 50% of those penalties. And, of course, it adds on top of our inflation reward. So, stakers get rewarded, right? This is the way it goes in the Hex contract. Now, changing the current holders, 59 is an increase. So, good day in the office, up to 314,593 holding liquid Hex there. We've got the current stakers up 48. Which is a good day in the office there. Nice to see the numbers getting turning a bit stronger there again. And that's what Hex is all about. This is kind of the headline numbers. The staking number is up to 116,525 stakers. The current holders up 147 to 518,110. So very cool, just onwards and upwards. And of course, we've got some pretty bullish mass marketing stuff coming up in the future. Obviously, Pulsechain, the highest of stakes, lots of other things like that. We've also got potentially institutional money in the future, depending on the price of Hex at some stage, and the Hex Investment Trust, if that goes public, has to reach $10 million in value, then that's going to be opening up huge, ginormous markets, like unbelievable size markets. And of course, marketing to them would be amazing with a 38% APY over a long period of time. Now, obviously, the Hex Investment Trust stakes for 5 days, so it's going to be a big deal. That's something in the future we're going to be looking for, particularly if we get this Hex price rally from some of these other catalysts. At the moment, oh my goodness, look at this. We've started off day 1,118, and we've got already 6.7 million Hex in penalties. What the heck? That just came straight out of the gate. Let's go to the Whalebot. We're going to have to jump that in now because that was not to be expected. Let's have a look here. So how many minutes are we in? 48 minutes. So we've got, look at this, 1 million in-staked, negative 55% penalty. Reward 2.2 million Hex, but penalty 2.8 million in 1,069 days out of 2,659. That's early in-stake penalties to us, folks. Man, oh man, oh man, that's dramatic. Straight out of the gate. Hey, we're in this time of opportunity for the old Hex there. Definitely is in the house there. We had 2.5 million also, 3.8 million penalty, 1,113 days out of 1,760. Someone got dramatic here, and of course, they got paid out 4.5 million there. That's probably what may have sent the price down here on Hex down to 2,198,000. So let's see. That didn't actually transfer that. Let's have a look at the comments. I expect a lot of this as price travels back towards a penny, says Mr. Reed. So you've got lots of comments into there on that. So some dramatic stuff happening at the moment. This is the Hex Christmas Eve sale, folks. Opportunities abound for volume, redistribution, and new players get new positions. And of course, Pulsechain still coming. Highest stakes is still coming. Hex Investment Trust still coming. Everything else is coming. Everything blockchain is still coming. It's all going on. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see this play out. The chances to get so much Hex is going to be a dream come true for a lot of people. All right, so there we are. Let's jump over to that's the Hex Daily Stats. And now we've got other updates, so we're going to get into that. We've got Power City, so we're going to talk about all this. Let's catch up to a few more comments, though. Let's see where we are. We've got Tail7 says, Hex Token Crypto 7, another guy I watch is Crypto Wonderful podcast and Crypto Heartbeat, all great content, says Tail7. Nice one, appreciate that. I'm sure all the content creators appreciate those nice words there, Tail7. There's less than one T-share of Hex tokens, and US debt is like 30 trillion, so it will take like $60 Hex to cover it. Nice one, Hex. I don't like that. Just a perspective. Yeah, nice per Hexpective there, says Hex. Sandy Beach says, whoever said Sorrento in Victoria was nice. What else there? Let's jump through some of these. Tim Top's in the house. Good to see you, Tim Top, as well. What's up, Xkins? And Al says Richard Hart will be buying $10 billion of Bitcoin, of Hex after Pulsechain launch. He loves Hex. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't see Hex doing anything going away. I think the Hex sale that's on at the moment, limited time, I said. Limited time. If you see the title of my video, limited time, because it will be a limited time. All right, so Power City development update from Power City. This is from KDP. Nearing Pulsechain testnet with 2 of our ground-up builds. Automated yield compounder for liquid loans. So we're getting onto Pulsechain now. automated yield compounder for the liquid loans protocol. I love how these AAA projects interact with each other. And of course, PowerCity is a great way of doing that. Now, PowerCity Sacrifice is still open. I'm going to talk about that later on at the end of the live stream. So you can still participate. This one of the probably the best way, in my view, if you're not going to speculate on getting a Pulsechain at a dip price, assuming that happens when Pulsechain launches, then you can get it through having a whole ton of businesses or utilities working to get you Pulse. And of course, you just watch the price go up if you're staking the Watt token. We'll talk more about that later. In any case, they've got the automated yield compound for liquid loans protocol and staking platform. That'd be the core DApp coming up. And of course, we're looking forward to test that on this channel. I know that all the other content creators will be all over that too. So that's pretty cool. There's a video here as well. That's on PowerCity, so you can go check that out. So cooler update. That is delayed, by the way, because we were expecting that in November. It's now December, right? So we were expecting those two in November. It's now December. But maybe they're just waiting. Like I said, they're the ones that gave us the alpha around the Pulsechain testnet v3 coming up. So maybe they're just waiting for that, right? They're just going to wait for the Pulsechain testnet v3 with the proof of stake. And so we may see this may be the first alpha DApp on the plane. We're playing around on there. So it's going to be fun to see. We've already had Fiat out there. We've already had liquid loans. We've already had internet money and other dApps out there and Famous and everyone else. So we're looking forward to the PowerCity, which is going to be a behemoth on the Pulsechain. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's jump over to Richard Hart, of course. The last update, I always like to recap this if you missed it. The last update for Richard Hart was the mods that the team was working on moderations to the Lighthouse prerequisite for Beacon Chain Explorer. So that's a kind of possibly a bullish sign for the Pulsechain testnet v3 is having that the query machine, the Explorer for the blockchain being worked on. And of course, basically they're trying to scale the numbers to obviously Pulsechain with the trillions. We're hoping upgrading that. And of course, they already worked on Prism, which is another software that people use for consensus and validation. So we're looking for that too. And I also said they were doing more AMM fixes there as well. Maybe they were just getting more liquidity pools. Maybe that's what it means. I don't know. Maybe it's more liquidity pools. Maybe it's V3 asymmetric liquidity estimation. We will see. We'll find out all at the end there. That's pretty simple amount of information. So we're really speculating with some of our directions there. But hey, that's positive. And maybe this is sooner than later for Pulsechain testnet v3. Imagine selling out at this price range and then Pulsechain testnet v3 comes out in the market, looks at that as very bullish, and you get locked out of the price market. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. All right, so cool. That is with the updates there. Let's jump over to the highest of stakes. Now, the highest of stakes is coming out as well. Like I said to you, this is the Hex Christmas Eve sale, limited time. And of course, Pulsechain and the highest of stakes, two bullish things coming up in the future. Nothing has changed about any of these narratives. They're still coming. And of course, here we are with, they have finished their update. So let's go to the highest of stakes. This was the last update they did. This was on the 8th of December, but it's always good to get context, keep the context of this end of the year update. The highest of stakes is now finished, and we are in the process of working towards a sales deal. Now, they have been working on that for a little bit while, but of course, the last thing they had to do was finish their score. Remember, they had a 30-piece orchestra. We played pieces of video from that. We promise any big updates on where to see the film, you will hear from us first. Don't believe everything you read, folks. Now, there was a live stream that Richard did recently where he said, man, I just want them to get out with the movie. I want the movie out, which was really bullish sign, right? Be like, well, he wants the movie out, and maybe the Pulsechain's coming out. It's kind of like that. But the highest of stakes that have responded on the 8th of December, and maybe pre that, was a friendly reminder, Richard Hart has no control in the movie, and the movie has no association with the launch of Pulsechain. So just a little bit of a thing there from the highest of stakes team. In any case, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be very, very exciting. Everybody's given pretty good reviews, and that was without the score in it, right? So I can't wait for that. Now, they're in the distribution phase, obviously trying to get the big streamers. Hopefully, they'll get one, if not more, of the big streamers. There's nothing really out there in crypto documentaries. I think Coinbase did some sort of propaganda piece, and apart from that, we've only got the old Bitcoin movies, right? The old Bitcoin movies. And of course, this thing is 10 times alpha that, right? This is a Emmy Award-winning film crew here. So we're looking forward to this. Now, they've got Q1 2023 to Q2 2023. But of course, we had that update on the 8th of December. So we're optimistic about a launch in that time. And that's going to be, man, it could be huge reach, man. That's a brand game changer of getting on one of the big streamings. Millions, tens of millions, potentially hundreds of millions of people watching that sort of stuff. You're just sitting at home on a Sunday, flick. Oh, what's this guy here? He's driving this Lamborghini or Ferrari or something. And what's going on there? Who's this girl that just said that she bought a house? Bought a house out of nothing. Whatever. So it's going to be fun to see that play out. And hopefully the timing's pretty good for Pulsechain. I imagine at this stage, it looks like it is going to be pretty good timing around the Pulsechain anyway. So everything just seems to line up. And though the price of Hex may be down to 2.2 cents, it is a buying opportunity. It's a sale. And of course, the things can turn around very fast. Money can start flooding into the AMM pool very, very fast. So we'll see how we get on. So maybe it's a bit of a Christmas gift today. We'll see. Anyway, so that's the highest of stakes. We've also got, which is bullish, coming up in January, is the Hex conference by Matty Allen. And of course, he is pretty much the conference king now, is he not? And of course, the third annual online Hex conference. So not just 1 year, 2 years, but now 3 years. And of course, he's always out there consistent every day as well, doing good content. So cool. We've got the hexconference.com 2023, and it's going to have Richard Hart, the man himself. And so we're excited that. Don't forget, Richard Hart's been talking about in the past working on his museum, and so maybe a lot of this Louis Vuitton stuff is going to end up in little glass cabinets. But we look forward to that. Maybe there'll be an Egyptian mummy next to his new his latest Louis Vuitton jacket or something like that. Who knows? So we've got Richard Hart there and the best of 100 plus Hex crypto YouTubers. So that's pretty cool. Now I think it's gone out. The invite's gone out to about 150 YouTubers, which is probably pretty much everybody in the space, just about. And of course, we'll see who turns up on the show. But obviously, past years has been super popular. So I no doubt that this is going to be pretty epic. Hex and Pulsechain community is going to be massive in the future. Just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's going to be pretty fun to see that. Now, third annual conference there, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 is on. So it's 4 days of content. And of course, between the 6th of January and January the 9th. So after you've had a nice rest with the family, gone on some beaches or holidays, or next to the fireplace if you're in North America, then you're going to have this cool conference to watch and get lots of different alpha from different people. It's going to be fun to see. So the other thing, of course, the schedule is coming soon. And of course, DMs have sent out to content creators. I'm not sure whether I'll be going on the show, at least applying to go on the show, but we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know about that. Anyway, Richard Hart himself is going to be there, the founder of Hex. I own the world's largest diamond, quickest Ferrari, and most expensive Rolex ever made. I have 10 million in watches. So we look forward to Mr. Richard Hart on there. It's going to be pretty cool. Man, I would love him to wear his top hat. Wouldn't that be cool? See him wear his top hat. That'd be cool. Maybe it's going to have glowing rings around it this time or something like that. That'd be pretty fun if you've seen his latest jacket. Aubrey de Grey, the longevity expert, is going to be on there too. And of course, what else there? We've got speakers. Yeah, 160 plus invites have been sent out. List of speakers coming soon. And of course, the Hex conference is free online, which is so cool. And any level of support is greatly appreciated. So you can support by donating to Matty Allen's address there. I'm going to post this in the chat there in case you want to check it out. Definitely worth doing it. Nothing is slowing down in Hex, right? So the price might come down, but the growth, the community, everything is still coming. Everything that we've been talking about is still coming. So it's just a matter of timing, right? Timing is the key, and that's the hardest thing in the market is timing. Not probability of an event. That takes experience, take a bit of common sense and a bit of knowledge gaining, but timing, of course, is the key here. And in this case, at least we know the date for this one. This is 100% accurate on the timing from the looks of it. So watch live online day 1. So all the conferences are already set up on Matty Allen's channel. And of course, you can find all those here. You can go and get yourself notified for those. And they will automatically show up for you. So there we are. Looks like day 4, Richard Hart, of course. It's going to be cool. Now, I do hope that Richard Hart, just speaking out to Richard Hart, make sure you have a good rest. Make sure you have a good rest before you come on the show, because he's a busy dude, likes to party as well. So make sure you're rested there, RH, and we look forward to your alpha bombs and your charismatic personality. That's for sure. Now, there are his previous ones here, the second annual Hex conference there, and the first one. You can go back and watch those too. Lots of great content in those as well. Very, very cool. Finally, let's get into it, folks. We're coming up to an hour and a half on the live stream, so we've really gone overboard here today. But we've got so much to talk about, so much excitement stuff to happen, as we've got the Hex Christmas sale on, limited time only. It's on at the moment. But anyway, we've got 3, what I call 3 top-tier utility projects that have got their sacrifices on. And, I try to talk about what I think is the really good probable projects. I do talk about a couple possible projects but probable projects that are going to be on Pulsechain. We got Famous, of course, which is the fork of GMX. Decentralized margin trading. I really think that's going to explode bigger and bigger and bigger as more people that are trading on centralized exchanges got wrecked so badly. And of course, even margin traders, most of them get wrecked. And of course, if they want to do it, they might as well do it on decentralized and own the keys to their coins. And so I really think that's going to flourish on Pulsechain. With Pulsechain, everything else that's coming on Pulsechain, we could see this play pretty well. Now, people have dared. Richard has dared people to short Hex. Now, obviously, that would have been better off if they'd had that capability at the moment. But of course, by the time we get Pulsechain and everything else out there, it's going to be a pretty dangerous place to be. It'll probably be more similar to people trying to short Tesla while it was keep going up and up and up and up and away. Right? Now, recently, it probably would have been a good idea, but timing would have been a very short window. It's kind of like that at this stage. All right, so we've got that at the moment, and we've got the Internet Money wallet sacrifices on at the moment too. Now, this is probably going to come up against the Heart wallet. That being said, of course, the world's a big place, and of course, the Internet Money is leading the place in terms of profit sharing, and of course, referrals and everything else. So excited about that. Their multi-chain sacrifices on at the moment, so you can check that out. Definitely, that is one of our top tier utilities there at the moment. I really hope that a lot of people spread the word there. Getting rid of MetaMask, they take all the profits. The middleman takes all the profits there. Wouldn't it be cool to have a wallet like the Internet Money wallet or the Heart wallet, however that's going to be designed to be sharing the profits to the people? I think that's going to be pretty cool. And finally, of course, if you're missed Pulsechain sacrifice and you're not looking to get the bargains, or maybe you're not able to get the bargains when Pulsechain launches, some people are talking about, oh, you might get this real big deal. Maybe you won't get that deal. In any case, you can try that strategy, but you can also, if you want to get Pulse, is getting the power, so they're going to have multiple utilities, top tier utilities, and like the big cross-chain bridges. They've had a big partnership with multi-chain. They're going to have something like 90 blockchains and thousands of trading pairs, all automated. So it's going to do all the hard work for you. You don't have to go from bridge to bridge and blockchain to blockchain. They're going to do it all. And of course, that's just one of their products. So it's going to be fun to see Power City. You stake your Watt token, you get Pulse, and then you watch the price go up and to the right if you hold it long enough. It's going to be a fun time. So those are the three top tier utilities that I like. Once again, do your own investment due diligence. Nothing on this channel is investment advice. But there we are, folks. Boom, yeah. What a fun show this was today. Lots of stuff to talk about. So, and we've got a nice little Christmas gift sale on at the moment on the old Hex. I'm starting to sound a little bit like Hexologist with the old sense of humor, but hey, it's funny. It's funny. All right, so cool. Let's jump into some of these other comments that's come in the chat here. Let's see where we are. We've got A-Bit Hex is so excited. I can barely stand it. Yeah, me too. Me too. Merry Christmas. Crypto Claus says Wookie. Hex Sided says Hex Hadron. Me too. Brendan says you have to have more Hex than A-Bit to apply for a spot on the Hex conference panel. Says Brendan. That's funny. That's really funny. I love the Hex conference. It was great last year too, says Sandy Beach. Crypto Claus says Merry Christmas to you all, Wookie, and of course, how is Wookie Life treating you? Maddie should do PulseCon, says Sandy Beach. Well, I don't think people like the con part of the PulseCon, so maybe PulseCon will probably not be emerged again. That's probably the way I get it. I did hear some people making jokes about that. Al says Richard Hart has all the hot chicks, says Al. There's definitely plenty of pictures out there with hot chicks. What's that big influence on Twitter? Is it Hex Vita? She's got a photo of herself with Richard Hart there at some fancy dinner. Broke Boy Crypto says, regardless of where the bottom is, the near 2 cent opportunity right now seems to carry a little risk and reward. Yeah. Hey, look, we did have Overwatch. Racket Michelle talk about some time ago that he was looking at 1 cent. Now, there is a bit of drama about him talking about 20 cent stuff way back in the day. But it's also, he's talked about trying to pick up a lot of bags at 1 cent. He's done over-the-counter deals for Pulsechain wallets as well, apparently, and all sorts of stuff. Hex, obviously. So we'll see. He's been pretty quiet for quite a while, actually. So he must have a lot going on in his personal life at the moment. Hex also says set your limit orders on Matcha or Deck Screw is the very nice place, the best place to do it. So yeah, if you're looking to pick up Hex, depending on where you want to put your price buy, you can do limit orders on Matcha or Deck Screw. So good advice there from Hex Hadron. Wookie is working hard at waiting, and Merry Hexmas, everybody, says Sandy Beach. Hexmas, yes, I like that. And of course, A-Bit says, awesome show, bro. I appreciate that, A-Bit. Thank you, Hex Token, says Sandy Beach. Will you be live tomorrow, Superman? Yes, I will be live on a Christmas day. And Liz Benny says, Merry Hexmas, take care all. and Merry Xmas and Paul C. Very, very cool. Hey, we just hit an hour and 35 minutes. A good time to wrap up the show. Hope you guys have a good day there. Enjoy the Hex Xmas sale. There's so much coming up, as you guys can see. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to play out a bit of cool, fun music on the way out. Why not? From Richard Hart, the founder. And, of course, we pay our humble respects. Where is the thing here? Let's go. All right, peace out. Take care. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. See you in Discord. Links in the video chat. Video description, I should say. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a great, wonderful Christmas Eve evening with your family and friends, of course. And I will catch you all tomorrow for my Christmas show at the same time, same place, on the same Superman channel. You will see me here. Take care. Bye for now.
Richard Art here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
All right, and we're live. We're back. We're back. We got the poll. Don't forget the poll. Brennan says. Sandy Beach says the poll. We got the poll. Will you participate in the Hex Xmas Eve sale? And of course, we got the results. 31%. Yes, I will buy Hex within the next week or two. That's 1 in 3 people. Nice. Yes, I'll buy Hex within the next 24 hours. 25%. 1 in 4 people looking to pick up some Hex deals on the Hex Christmas Eve sale. And of course, maybe looking to buy the bottom, 23%. So almost just over 1 in 5, almost 1 in 4. And of course, not buying at the moment, 19%. So 1 in 5 not buying. That is the result. 76 votes. Thank you for that. All the best with the sale. It's limited time only. Obviously, nothing's investment advice. Do your own due diligence. But we've got lots coming, and that was hilarious. I always forget the poll about 50% of the time. That's the way it goes. All right, take care, everybody. Bye for now. Woohoo!